What's going on, everybody? Thank y'all for tuning in, man. This is the Juicebox Heroes podcast on a Sunday. I'm one of your hosts, PK. As always, got Homer Chris in the house and Sweet Bee Bones Bryles. Fellas, how was your weekend going?
Man, it is too short, man. Like, just again, still kind of recovering from being gone for a week. And I swear, I feel like I need a 3 or another 4 day weekend, but it is what it is. Wrapped it up with some good baseball practice today. So, Browse, how was your weekend going? I know it's going pretty well.
Yeah, it's been fantastic, man. Bills won today. If you guys didn't know, I am a Bills fan, but also Texans fan representing for Monday.
Go.
So anyway, yeah, let's go. Let's take it out, man. I think they've got the defense to go all the way. But yeah, it's been a great weekend. We had college football, pro football, all playoffs. It's been a blast. And the only not fun thing was putting up all the Christmas decorations and obviously all the projects that go along with that, and then side projects that get started. But hey, it is what it is, and I'm not complaining at all. So PK, how are you doing, man?
Oh, man, I'm doing great. It's been, like I said, a busy weekend, a lot of football watching. I think it started on Thursday night with college football semifinal, then Friday. Then we had the playoffs on Saturday, some great games on Saturday, and some more great games today. And then I also today had the privilege of waking up at 5:30 this morning to go to a volleyball tournament all day. Only good thing out of that was that we went 3-0 in pool play, and that was kind of where we stopped.
There you go.
For the day. But
Very nice.
Good long day, man. So I know it's back to Astros talk. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. We kind of we posted going in for tonight's episode with, will Paredes remain as a Houston Astro? I mean, there's a lot of questions going on, and I know we've kind of covered this a little bit. We'll get into some arbitration with some of the guys that agreed to, some guys that agreed to salary increases to avoid arbitration. We'll get into that here in a little bit. But yeah, I think like the biggest thing, we've talked about it like several times, right? With the Paredes and Walker and how your infield lines out, at the current moment. Right now it looks like you've got Walker at 1, Altuve at 2, Pena at short, and then of course Correa holding down the hot corner, right? So like your infield's pretty locked down. Now that leaves a spot out, obviously, right? Paredes is coming back off the hamstring injury that he, came back a little bit right there at the end of the season to try to help. He's been killing it in the winter ball right now. I mean, I don't know if you guys have seen, highlights from what he's doing. I mean, he is roping in the winter ball and winter leagues, right? So you've got this issue of you can't platoon this guy, right? I mean, you can't consistently take at-bats out of his hand because we saw last year the amount of pitches that this guy took per at-bat, right? So the question becomes that we've talked about before, who are you gonna move, right? One of the things is Walker's salary is so high. His contract's, for an aging guy is what, 30, Rouse, help me out here, 35, 34?
Yeah, I think he's 36 actually now, coming into his 36th age year this season.
Yeah,
I believe.
And like he still put up, mid-20s home runs. I mean, like he's very streaky. We talked about that. But Paredes, he's younger. He's more controllable for the Astros. He can play both corners, right? Third and first. So I think for me, the move really is to move Walker. However, if there was a market for Walker, there would have been offers already coming in that were good enough for the Astros to take a look at, right? I feel like Paredes is probably the most movable piece out of the two because he's younger, more team control. So just want to get you guys feedback on that. Let's start with let's start with Bones. What do you think about the Paredes Walker conundrum?
Well, let me start with correcting myself. I just looked it up. He's 34 currently, and by the time he's out of spring training, so March the 23rd is his birthday, he'll be 35.
Oh,
so
nice.
A year off on that. This is you're right. It is a conundrum, and I'm trying to figure out exactly how to put it, but I think he definitely deserves more playing time than Walker does right now, based upon our season last year. Now, what we're going to do with Walker, I don't know, man. I really hope that he turns it around. And I also really hope that we can get like daily reps for Paredes. Because you're right. I've been seeing the highlights, especially on X and all over the internet, of him and just absolutely killing it in the off season in the league he's in right now. Is he in the Mexican League or the Caribbean League? He's in the Caribbean League, right?
I believe he's probably in the Mexican League. I'm not 100% sure on that.
Mexican League. Okay. So anyway, long story short, he's in one of the leagues that's not a joke. Let's just put it that way. And he's absolutely murdering the baseball out there right now. So from everything he's been doing, I'd love to hang on to him, but I do want to touch real quick on the arbitration part of it. So we went to arbitration with quite a few players. We did go to arbitration with quite a few of our players. We only went to arbitration with 2. Everybody else, we got a contract going for them. And then these guys, when I say these guys, I'm talking about Diaz and also Paredes. They are going to have to go to ARB, which means we have team control over these 2 players. And then each side has to present why they think they're worth whatever number that they are. I don't like this, especially in the Paredes aspect of it, because they are only arguing over $2 million. Now, I do know that at least in our current front office that we've seen this happen a number of times. So, and sometimes it's over $2 million. Sometimes it's over $1 million, something stupid like that. And you're thinking like, well, why don't they just go ahead and give the guy the money that he wants, call it a day, and everybody's happy, especially when we're talking about a player with the caliber of Paredes, who is literally built to play at Dakin Park and just smash him into the Crawford box, right? But at the same time, we are so close to that luxury tax that I know for a fact that Astros are going to pinch a penny anywhere they can get. They proved that at the very beginning of the offseason, when we saw Chris's favorite player, Dubon, head over to the Atlanta Braves. So, that kind of kicked off the penny pinching season for them. And then especially with the Abai signing, now they're definitely looking at saving some money. So that's why they're going to go to arbitration with him. I don't really feel like it's that big of a deal, or at least as big of a deal as they're making on the internet with it. But to answer your question about the conundrum, what we're going to do with Walker and Paredes, I don't know, because Paredes obviously is a bigger trade chip. There's been rumors that he could go to Boston, but I don't know what the return is going to be on that. There were early rumors that Walker was going to go back to the Diamondbacks. I don't see that happening anymore now that they're especially keeping Ketel Marte. There was also rumors that he could be going to the Mets, and it looks like that's been squashed for the time being as well. I mean, that could be a late move here coming up in our off season. But at the same time, I don't know. So the question is, to answer to your question is, for right now, to be determined, because I think there's a possibility we go into spring training with both these guys and we don't have any movement until something happens, like maybe an injury or something like that. Chris, what do you think?
Well, Boston needs a third baseman.
So I'm about to get into that, because the main reason why I wanted to bring this up, because I was kind of in the camp of they're going to take both of these guys with them to spring training. However, the biggest news that happened, I believe it was late last night, is that the Cubs just signed Alex Bregman to a 5-year deal. So now I think Boston had put all their chips into because I know that there were some rumors early in the winter meetings that Boston was interested in Paredes. So it sounds like they put all their, like I said, their chips in we'll just re-sign Bregman. Well, that didn't happen. Bregman ended up signing a 5-year deal. I think it was I don't know how much the number was.
175.
But he signed a 5-year. Okay, 175.
Yeah,
so he signed with the Cubs. So now the reason why this is kind of brought back up, because now I believe Boston is in a desperation, butt clenching, kind of moment right now, because all the guys they put all their eggs in the basket for just signed with the Cubs. So like I said, I wanted to talk about this because if you're the Astros and now that Boston has had interest before Bregman signed, they absolutely have him now. And technically, you kind of have them by the balls right now. If what is it? I think his name's Craig Breslow calls up Dana
Breslow.
Brown and says, "Hey, we're in. Can we get these talks with Isak Paredes going back again?" So, like I said, my question to this is, what would it take as an Astros fan, not just us, but other Astros fan, to be comfortable with a trade of Isak Paredes to Boston? I've seen some where they said, "Hey, do a 1-for-1, him for Duran." I don't like that because Duran's a free agent after this season. So you give up. I mean, no, granted, you desperately need a for real outfielder because, like I said, we'll get into the arbitration stuff, not the other arbitration stuff besides Paredes, but I mean, what would it take? I mean, because like I said, right now, the Astros, if they're in talks right now with Boston, they have all the leverage. And the last time a pretty good player with the Astros, and the Astros didn't see eye to eye in arbitration, that was what, Kyle Tucker? And look what happened with that. So to basically kind of rebuttal or, flip the question on you guys is, what would it take for Boston to make a trade for Paredes to where you guys can sit back and think, hey, I know it sucks we traded Paredes. However, I'm pretty damn good with what we got back. So PK, we'll start with you. You're muted, PK. You're still muted.
Thank you.
There we go. I'm here for you, bud.
I was kind of just looking at the prospects for Boston, right? I'm gonna be honest.
Will prospects get it done, or do you want an MLB player right now?
Because you need an outfielder. You need an outfielder. But I agree with the Duran thing. As nice as it would be to lock down a left-handed, bat, center fielder, outfielder. I mean, he played all three positions for them, so he can cover all three positions. I don't like the fact that, again, you're essentially going to rent him potentially for 1 year instead of the 2 months at a trade deadline, right? So I don't like that. But they do. They desperately need a third baseman now. I mean, they do. I mean, so I agree with you again, where if Dana Brown wants to cook again, like we've seen him do, even though he gets a lot of crap for it, like he could name his price for Boston to move Paredes. And I mean, I would hate to see Paredes go. I mean, but it's a business, and that's what you're trying to do, right? I mean, I don't know. I don't know what player. I don't know what player I would want from Boston. Like I said, I just pulled up the list because I feel like you should for me, you're probably getting prospects back for me, right? So because you're still in this rebuilding your farm. I mean, that's where I sit. I don't think you go major league ready. I mean, like you're starting pitching. We talked about last week. You got like 9 guys, right? 9 technically starting pitchers that are vying for 5 to 6 spots, right? I'm not saying that you're you're done and you're good with your starting pitching, but I think you've got enough guys to make your 1 through 6, 1 through 5, however they choose to do it, even though they're probably going to run a 6-man for a minute, right? I like the prospect part of it. Get some prospects, some high level prospects that, the highest level prospects you can, start rebuilding your farm. That's my route. I don't think, I just don't know if you go MLB ready player, unless you're looking for some kind of, super stud bullpen guy from them. I mean, your lineup's pretty set. Yainer, Walker, Altuve.
Is it though? I'm talking about the outfield.
Has the problem. Your outfield has the problem. Yeah. Your outfield has the problem.
I mean, right? I think we could probably say you're not going to get Roman Anthony. That's not going to happen.
I wouldn't think so.
No.
What about that?
Maybe Abreu? Maybe Abreu?
That's what I was just about to say.
And we had him, 2 years ago?
Former Asheville Woodpecker.
Yeah, he was in that deal that we got Christian Vasquez back in 22. Yeah. So there's him. I've seen somebody say, why don't you... Well, I know he plays second base, and I think he plays the outfield as well.
He played center for them as well.
Yeah, so Bros, before we... All right, Bros, what you got?
No, that Willier Brady, you took the words out of my mouth, man. That's what I was thinking. I was like, you take him back. I mean, he was formerly in our system. We're very familiar with him. He kind of had a breakout season last year. He's under control from what I looked at for another 2 years at least. So, that I think that would be an even swap, maybe that, and hopefully we would get maybe a low level prospect as well. But that I think solves our one missing spot in the outfield who could play left field. Was he an all-star last year? That is my biggest question. I don't think he was.
But you're going off for like 1 year, like a flash in the pan. That's my thing with that, with the Abreu thing.
But we're familiar with him, so that's the whole thing. It's I would definitely be willing to bring him back in, get at least one other prospect, even if it's a low-level guy, single A, double A, something like that. That we could put into our system. And I've said this 100 times, our minor league system takes a piece of coal and turns it into a diamond by the time it hits Sugarland. We've seen that over and over and over. So whether that's, having to bring him up to the big league club or trade him away, trust me, I get it. But at the same time, I think that would be about the only way that I could see this happening. I think our starting lineup is set at this point. I think our bullpen is stacked at this point. I think we're going to have to push guys into AAA from our pitching staff that we would normally want to have on the big league staff. I mean, injuries aside, of course. But yeah, I think that we do have to have at least one more outfielder if Paredes is going to the wayside. And if he doesn't go to the wayside, somebody needs to go find him an outfield glove and tell him that he needs to play left field better than Altuve did.
Damn, I think he's too slow for that too. I mean,
Altuve
wasn't fast out there.
So I read something that somebody was said Duran and Peyton Tolley, who's that pitcher that kept coming up in those.
I just looked him up.
So I've seen that one. I mean, again, you get your 1 year guy in Duran, but then you get your young controllable pitcher. And again, if you guys are just joining us, we're talking about the potential of now that Bregman is signed with the Cubs, if Boston comes back to talk about Paredes, what trade could the Astros make where you as an Astros fan are like, it sucks that Paredes gone, but I'm good with the package that we got back. So I don't know. I mean, like, as much I think if you're in win now, I think I like that package of Duran and then Tolley because it gives you it gives you an all-star caliber outfielder. Granted, it's only for a year, but then you have the young controllable pitcher because you don't know what's going to happen with Imai after this season. So it's just another young controllable pitcher that you have in a league where young controllable pitching is like gold. I mean, so again, it would suck if Paredes was traded, but like as long as it's like not some kind of like we got their 9th prospect and their 12th prospect for Paredes. Like I feel like if you go out there and get you, whether it's Rafaela or if it's, I mean, I'm kind of like I'd be okay with Abreu in like 1 or 2 more pieces, but it's tough. I mean, like like once I saw that Bregman signed with the Cubs, I was like, man, now I bet you, everybody's like scattering. They're in panic mode over in Boston. So, I mean, and who knows? They may not have even reached back with the Astros. The Astros then could be talking right now as we speak. Who knows? But
they could overpay.
It's a good question to ask. What's that?
I said they could overpay because of the fact that Bregman just signed with the Cubs and they're freaking out.
If you're Dana Brown, you were saying, yes, Paredes available for an arm and a leg. That's what it's going to cost. Your price was cheaper a month ago.
They could do the same with Willier for us wanting them back.
Not really. Not really. I mean, because
I think we hold all the chips on this one.
Yeah, the Astros hold all the chips in these trade negotiations.
In the respect of they need a third baseman and we have one who's young, controllable. Yes, we hold all the chips in there.
Absolutely.
Right? I like the Peyton Tolley thing. He's our number 2 prospect. Lefty, 6'6", wingspan of like 7'4", mid-90s.
And a hellacious mustache.
And his picture has a great mustache. Yes.
I got to look this kid up.
So, yeah, I mean that's like I said, that was the main thing I wanted to talk about when I saw it. But and honestly, there was something that Browse brought up arbitration, and as we segue into this next part of the episode, I made a post on Facebook, and I think when I made my post, I probably should have elaborated at where I was at the point I was trying to make. So I made a post basically saying what was the point of getting rid of Dubon to save money because nobody wanted, because he was an expensive utility player, and then you gave Jesus Sanchez 6.8 million in arbitration, and a lot of the rebuttal that came back was because Dubon is not that great of a hitter, and I'm like, agree. I'm not saying Dubon is Babe Ruth. I'm not saying he was some all-star, you know, super baseball player. However, you can't talk about hitting when the guy that you're paying almost 7 million hit under 200 when he got traded to the since he's been with the Astros. My point that I was trying to make was how about because like I could tell you, me personally, I forgot that Jesus Sanchez was on this roster at least 6 times during this offseason. Why not use that 6.8 million and go get you an outfielder? I'm not saying it's going to be Cody Bellinger. I'm not saying it's going to be Kyle Tucker, but you go get yourself a proven, established outfielder. I mean, you could do that. Randall Grichuk signed with the Diamondbacks last year for $5 million. You could pay him 6.5, and I'd be okay with him being, the third outfielder. I mean, because essentially now you're paying Sanchez $7 million to be basically your fourth outfielder, and he doesn't hit against lefties. So he's basically a platoon guy that you're paying $7 million. What you could have done is give Dubon to 7 because at least he could play the infield and the outfield. So that's my point. That was another thing that I wanted to talk about was the whole. I don't understand the whole trade Dubon to save money, just to give that money to somebody who his play did not say he was worth $7 million. I don't know. What do you guys think? Maybe I'm tripping.
Go ahead, Browse.
Yeah, I think it's an overpay for Jesus Sanchez. Don't get me wrong. But then again, we're not professional scouts, so I don't know if Jesus Sanchez, even though he does have a $6 million smile, I'll give you that. I don't know if he's going to be a starting outfielder for us or not. So that seems like definitely an overpay. At least if you kept Dubon in the situation that you're talking about, he can play outfield. Now, if everybody remembers when Justin Verlander would come up to pitch, he was Justin Verlander's personal center fielder, which I never understood why, but he was. So anyway, I'll go ahead and go with that. But anyway, long story short, we know the guy can't play outfield. So even if you take the moniker off of him that he is a, super utility guy and just say, hey, by the way, you're playing outfield, whether it's left, center, or right, it doesn't matter. Get an outfield glove, and that's where you're going to be. I kind of feel like that he might have been a little bit better fitted. And not only that, I'm saying that also from a clubhouse perspective, because he was very loved in the clubhouse. He was very loved in the Houston community. I think that might have been a little bit of a better move, but we're talking about that on right now, January 11th of 2026. So we were talking that at the very beginning of the offseason, back in November of last year, is when they kicked everything off. They didn't know all the things were going to happen that have happened so far in the offseason. So I think that if they could have gone back in time to actually, change their decision on that, they probably would have and gotten rid of the Jesus anyway. So anyway, we'll see what happens. I don't know. It's with the money they gave him, though. I do see him actually probably starting in left field. I don't see any way that they don't now that they've reached those numbers with him. What do you think, PK?
I think I was very surprised that they gave him the 6.8. No, or they agreed to the 6.8. Because like Chris, there were so many times over the offseason how we gone over the roster, the lineups and positions, and we have everything written down and we're talking about it, making our case, and then we're like, oh damn, Jesus Sanchez, we forgot about him. right? I mean, it was like all offseason because he didn't do anything spectacular. I think the most spectacular thing that I could think of in his time with us was when he busted out of his 0 for like 20 something at bat streak and went 5 for 5 against Baltimore, right? Like that was like the most impressive thing that I can remember. And that was at Baltimore, right? So very surprised they gave him the 6.8, but I agree, Bryles, that kind of does show that I think that they're leaning more to having him play a lot more often. I don't think you're going to invest that type of money or invest that type of money in a player that, again, Chris made the argument, like the guy can't hit lefties or doesn't play against lefties, right? Unless he's a defensive sub later on in the game or whatnot. Dubon could at least, have a semi-professional bat against both the right-handed and lefty, right? He wasn't going to hit bombs, like we were going to, have high blood pressure at the fact that he was swinging at garbage, right? Like all the things, but fantastic glove, can play every position, if you needed him to. So very surprised. I think the upside's probably more with Jesus Sanchez. That's probably why they went ahead and let the Dubon thing go through, right? I think Nick Allen, I think they did agree to a deal like a little over $1 million, right, for him. We'll get into that here in a minute. But yeah, I think the 6.8 for Jesus kind of signifies that they plan on him having a spot more routinely in this lineup. So, I mean, feel free, Jesus, to get in the cages over the winter, figure out how to hit lefties so you can get, more playing time, more ABs. I mean, look, they probably see something in him, new hitting regime in there, hitting coaches. Hopefully these guys from San Diego, Rodriguez, can see what holes he had in his swing and they can do something with it because, look, he's another lefty that we need in a lineup. I mean, aside from him, you have Jordan, right? I mean, Zach Cole, if however he is going to be utilized, but that's it, right? So we'll see. I mean, I think definitely Jesus has the bigger upside. I mean, that's why they make that agreement, but definitely surprising to see. Got a few more minutes before we get out of here. I think Chris has the guys here recently that Chris, do you have it, or Bryles, do you have it? The arbitration guys, or the guys that avoided arbitration and what we went for? There were several guys.
Yeah.
No, I
think that was Bryles.
Yeah, no, I
think it was you.
Yeah, so we went to arbitration with a bunch of guys, and just before we say that, these are guys that are, avoided. Thank you. These are guys that are still under team control. We still have control over them, although we still need to figure out either a contract or we go to arbitration and then figure out like, hey, we're either going to go for this amount of money or this amount of money. And it's the player submits a dollar amount, the team submits a dollar amount, and it really sucks. It's like going to court and you have to argue against each other and prove each other wrong. So we try to avoid this at all costs if we can. So anyway, here are the numbers we got. So Abreu, we settled at $5.85 million. Okert, 2.32. Pena at 9.475. Sanchez at 6.8. Jake Myers at $3.55 million.
Ugh, that hurts my soul too.
Brown, get this, at $5.71 million.
That's a steal. That's your third place guy for the Cy Young. You're paying less than $6 million,
dude.
And it only went up like $100,000.
That is insane.
Yeah. Dude, Jesus Sanchez is making more money than Hunter Brown. That's ridiculous.
Yes.
That's ridiculous.
It absolutely ridiculous. Wesneski, obviously he's been hurt, $975,000. He went down $500,000. And then Sousa at $910,000. He went down 0.2.
The Hunter Brown is mind blowing because Hunter Brown, we all know, right? Ace of the staff, third in the AL Cy Young. Tarek Skubal, who's back-to-back Cy Young, went into his, and he said, "Yo, y'all need to pay me $32 million."
And they're like, "Cool story. Like, we offer 19.
How about 19?" Yeah, you know what I mean. And so look, dude, you're getting a bona fide ace stud for just over $5 million. And again, in the comp, not even a comp, but just compare salary wise on this team, you just gave a dude that can't hit lefties 6.8.
Yeah, 6.8. It's insane. It's insane. I mean, like when you think about it, like you can think about it one of two ways. you think about it, it's like, man, that's insane. Great job, Astros. But then in your back of your mind, you're like, oh crap, that's right. Isn't Hunter Brown a Boris client?
Oh yeah, it's over.
Oh yeah. So then it kind of kicks back in like, oh, that's right.
It's like enjoy it. Like we have to enjoy the dude while he's here because he is going to.
No, absolutely.
Dumb money, dumb money.
$100,000.
Yeah, like I don't.
$100,000.
If he has another year like he did this past season, that number may triple. It may be like 15, 16. Like unless like, I mean, I don't know how, like, as far as like if his agent says we'll submit this and the Astros are like they submit this, but yeah, just to kind of go a little further on what Browse is saying. So essentially it's like if PK was the judge, Browse is like, I want $6 million, and I'm the team, and I'm like, we'll give you $4 million. We sit in front of PK, and I basically tell PK all the reasons why Browse is not worth $5 million. Yeah. And
while you're still working together.
Yeah,
this
while
is
we're still
why
working
you
together.
Suck.
So this is why you're not as good as you think you are.
That's right.
And then, oh yeah, by the way, hey, let's go win a bunch of games and go win a World Series.
Yeah.
High five.
Yeah. I mean, it's not as bad as, I mean, I forgot who it was, but I saw it on X. There was literally, God, it's a pretty well-known player. They're going to arbitration over like $200K. That's what they're going over arbitration for. Yeah.
For $200,000?
Yeah, it's something small like that. Like I think the most it was like $400K. It's somewhere between $200 and $400K. They're going into arbitration for it. So again, mind blowing that Jesus Sanchez is making almost $2 million more than Hunter Brown. Blows my mind.
Yep. Well, look, man, that's a wild way to end the podcast. It's crazy when you think about the numbers and like the production that you're getting out of these two players. Now, granted, they're two different positions. Obviously, you would think that your ace guy would get a lot more. So this is super team friendly. But again, enjoy the time we have with old Diesel, because when he becomes a free agent, I don't think our boys are in the market at all. But look, I want to thank everyone for tuning in. And we always appreciate the support that we get. And look, we've got some big news coming out. We're going to be rolling it out here soon, so you'll be seeing some things on the X. So just stay tuned. But look, man, I want to again thank everyone for supporting us, for the constant listens and subscriptions, man. Keep them coming. We really appreciate it. We'll be back on Thursday. We're gonna have a special guest on Thursday. We'll make that announcement during the week. Really looking forward to Thursday night, man. It's gonna be awesome. But until then, this is the Juicebox Heroes podcast. I'm PK. That's Hummer Chris. That's Browse. We'll talk to y'all later. Hook 'em, baby.
Hook 'em.
Oh, Texans tomorrow night too. Good Lord. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah,
go Texans.
Monday Night Football playoffs in Pittsburgh. Let's go, man. Let's go.